What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Witness Wednesdays. When we left off in the last episode, we kind of did our, probably the longest task that we had to deal with was the last environmental puzzle that was tied to the really long hex video thing, which was also a very interesting lecture. And so I'm left with only a few remaining puzzles and a few remaining audio logs. Now, I checked my save game count, and it has it at 520 normal puzzles, and the rest were environmental and obelisk, and those are done. It doesn't keep track of audio logs, however, we can see that I don't have them all because there's still some flowers that haven't blossomed. So we know there's still some to be found, but they don't really, quote-unquote, count, if that makes sense. Like, as far as things that I could see the game taking into account if you had some secret ending for 100% completion or something, it's, you know, it's not there. But there are these little triangles, right, for they're called discarded puzzles, I guess, but they're basically the orange triangle puzzles. And I thought because they were floating, it meant they weren't done yet, but apparently there's a dimness to them. Like, you can barely see them, and they're normally brighter like the rest of these flowers, I guess. I don't recall seeing them that way, but that's everything I've read says that when you solve them, they actually dim instead of, like, sinking down at the bottom. Because I looked through and most of them are not floating on the bottom, so I was like, well, I know I've solved most of them. So I'm led to wonder, I can't find a single one that doesn't look this way, that's not faded, so I'm wondering if I've gotten them all, then does that mean I'm actually missing two other regular panel puzzles, not the discarded ones? So that I don't know. I think I've actually gotten all the discarded ones according to what I believe the lake is telling me. Now, there is a theory that I have that I want to test, and it's kind of a two birds, one stone situation, and that is that I have two other video files to watch in the theater room. We solved them, and we entered them into the hex panel, but I never actually played the video. I just looked through them a little bit. And I think I played I obviously played the hour-long one, but I think that was the only one I actually looked at. I think the rest of them I kind of just did one of these where you grab them and look at them and then I exited out. I don't think I actually solved the puzzle. So that leads me to wonder, that one I haven't seen, this one I don't think I've seen. No, yep, that was the long one. This one? That one we saw. That one we didn't see. So I have these two that I haven't watched, and then this one we watched first. So I'm wondering if maybe that's them. So we're going to watch one of these real quick and see if it updates the solve thing.
By a backhanded, upside-down argument, was predicted that there is in carbon a level at 7.82 million volts. And then experiments in the laboratory with carbon show indeed that there is. And therefore the existence in the world of all these other elements is very closely related to the fact that there is this particular level in carbon. But the position of this particular level in carbon seems to us, after knowing the physical laws, to be a very complicated accident of 12 complicated particles interacting. So I wish to illustrate by this example that an understanding of the physical laws doesn't give you an understanding in a sense of understanding the significance of the world in any way. The details of real experience are very far often from the fundamental laws. There are, in a way of speaking in the world, we have a way of discussing the world which you could call, we discuss it at various hierarchies or levels. Now, I don't mean to be very precise, there's a level, there's another level, there's another level, but I will indicate by describing a set of ideas to you, just one after the other, what I mean by hierarchies of ideas. For example, at one end, we have the fundamental laws of physics. Then we invent other terms for concepts which are approximate, who have, we believe, the ultimate explanation in terms of the fundamental laws. For instance, heat. Heat is supposed to be the jiggling, and it's just a word for a hot thing is just a word for a mass of atoms which are jiggling. For that, fundamentally, we should think of the atoms jiggling. But for a while, if we're talking about heat, we sometimes forget about the atoms jiggling. Just like when we talk about the glacier, we don't always think of the hexagonal ice snowflakes which originally fell. Another example of the same thing is a salt crystal. Looked at fundamentally, it's a lot of protons, neutrons, and electrons. But we have this concept, salt crystal, which carries a whole pattern already of fundamental interactions, or idea like pressure. Now, if we go higher up from this, in another level, we have properties of substances like refractive index, how light is bent when it goes through something, or surface tension, the fact that the water tends to pull itself together, is described by a number. I remind you that we have to go through several laws down to find out that it's the pull of the atoms and so on. But we still say surface tension, and don't worry when we're discussing surface tension of the inner workings, always. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Go on, up in the hierarchy. With the water, we have the waves, and we have a thing like a storm. We have a word for storm, which represents an enormous mass of phenomena. Or sunspot, or star, which is an accumulation of things. And it's not worthwhile always to think of it way back. In fact, we can't, because the higher up we go, we have too many steps in between, each one of which is a little weak, and we haven't thought them all through yet. If we go up in this hierarchy of complexity, we get to things like frog, or nerve impulse, which you see is an enormously complicated thing in the physical world, involving an organization of matter in a very elaborate complexity. And then we go on, we come to things, words, and concepts like man, and history, or political expediency, and so forth, which is a series of concepts that we use to understand things at an ever higher level. And going on, we come to things like evil, and beauty, and hope. Now, which end is nearer to the ultimate creator, or the ultimate? So if I make a religious metaphor, which end is nearer to God? Beauty and hope, or the fundamental laws? I think that the right way, of course, is to say that the whole structural interconnections of the thing is the thing that we have to look at, and that the sequence of hierarchy, that all the sciences and all the efforts, not just the sciences, but all the efforts of intellectual kind, are to see the connections of the hierarchies, is to connect beauty to history, is to connect history to man's psychology, the man's psychology to the working of the brain to the neural impulse to the chemistry, and so forth, up and down, both ways. And today we cannot, and there's no use making believe we can, draw carefully a line all the way from one end of this thing to the other. In fact, we've just begun to see that there is this relative hierarchy. And so I don't think either end is nearer to God's. And to stand at either end, and to walk out off the end of the pier only, hoping out in that direction is the complete understanding, is a mistake. And to stand with evil and beauty and hope, or to stand with the fundamental laws, hoping that way to get a deep understanding of the whole world, with that aspect alone, is a mistake. And it is not sensible either for the ones who specialize at one end and the ones who specialize at the other end to have such disregard for each other. They don't actually, but the people say they do. But that actually the great mass of workers in between, connecting one step to another, are improving all the time our understanding of the world, both from working at the ends and working in the middle. And in that way, we are gradually understanding this connection, this tremendous world of interconnecting hierarchies.
Huh.
If you expected science to give all the answers to the wonderful questions about what we are, where we're going, what the meaning of the universe is, and so on, then I think you could easily become disillusioned and then look for some mystic answer to these problems. How a scientist can take a mystic answer, I don't know, because the whole spirit is to understand. Well, never mind that. Anyhow, I don't understand. But anyhow, if you think of it, though, the way I think of what we're doing is we're exploring, we're trying to find out as much as we can about the world. People say to me, are you looking for the ultimate laws of physics? No, I'm not. I'm just looking to find out more about the world. And if it turns out there is a simple ultimate law that explains everything, so be it. That would be very nice to discover. If it turns out it's like an onion with millions of layers and we're just sick and tired of looking at the layers, then that's the way it is. But whatever way it comes out, its nature is there, and she's going to come out the way she is. And therefore, when we go to investigate it, we shouldn't pre-decide what it is we're trying to do, except to find out more about it. If you say, but your problem is, why do you find out more about it? If you thought that you were trying to find out more about it because you're going to get an answer to some deep philosophical question, you may be wrong. It may be that you can't get an answer to that particular question by finding out more about the character and nature. But I don't look at it. My interest in science is to simply find out about the world. And the more I find out, the better it is. I like to find out. There are very remarkable mysteries about the fact that we're able to do so many more things than apparently animals can do, and other questions like that. But those are mysteries I want to investigate without knowing the answer to them. And so altogether, I can't believe the special stories that have been made up about our relationship to the universe at large, because they seem to be too simple, too connected, too local, too provincial. The earth, he came to the earth. One of the aspects of God came to the earth, mind you. And look at what's out there. How can he? It isn't in proportion. Anyway, it's no use arguing. I can't argue it. I'm just trying to tell you why the scientific views that I have do have some effect on my beliefs. And also another thing has to do with the question of how do you find out if something's true? And if you have all these theories of the different religions, have all different theories about the thing, then you begin to wonder. Once you start doubting, just like you're supposed to doubt, you ask me, is the science true? We say, no, we don't know what's true. We're trying to find out. Everything is possibly wrong. Start out understanding religion by saying everything is possibly wrong. Let us see. As soon as you do that, you start sliding down an edge, which is hard to recover from. And so with the scientific view, or my father's view, that we should look to see what's true and what may not be true, once you start doubting, which I think to me is a very fundamental part of my soul, is to doubt and to ask. And when you doubt and ask, it gets a little harder to believe. You see, one thing is I can live with doubt and uncertainty and not knowing. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. I have approximate answers and possible beliefs and different degrees of certainty about different things, but I'm not absolutely sure of anything. And there are many things I don't know anything about, such as whether it means anything to ask, why we're here, and what the question might mean. I might think about it a little bit. If I can't figure it out, then I go to something else. But I don't have to know an answer. I don't feel frightened by not knowing things, by being lost in the mysterious universe without having any purpose, which is the way it really is, as far as I can tell, possibly. It doesn't frighten me.
That's an interesting perspective. Okay, so now the big question here is, did that actually do anything, or is that just information at this point? So let me pause really quick and check my save file and see if we got any more puzzles completion, or if that just is another Easter egg thingy-majigger. Okay, so I checked that, and I didn't actually find any change, so I don't think that's where the solution lies. I have also looked through a guide on the orange triangle puzzles, the discarded ones, and it really does look like I've gotten all of those, so I don't think they're the answer either. Although, as I was walking by, I happened across one of these guys.
We join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center hole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. Lao Tzu, 6th century BC.
So yeah, I just happened across that one. I'm running around at the moment trying to explore and see if there's anything that I missed. I haven't really found anything, though. Most everything that I keep running across of... I'm trying not to look at solutions for things, but I'm using guides to try and find places I might have missed. I'm really trying to avoid solving them accidentally or whatever, because I don't really want to do... We've done really good about doing that, so I don't really want to if I can help it. I'm pretty sure we completed this area. One of the guides I read mentioned that apparently this is an easily missable area, which I didn't really think it was. Because, you know, it's bright and pink and everything. It's kind of hard to run past here and not notice. But since it said it's easily missable, I figured maybe there was 2 more puzzles or something that I didn't see them go to, or... I don't know. Something. But I think we did all this because we ended up seeing the combination of, like, the tree branches versus heart analogy and all that kind of stuff. Unless there's an audio track somewhere. We did all the environmental puzzles, so I don't think I have to look for enviros anymore. But yeah, I'm really not sure. So give me a minute, and I'm just going to keep poking around, seeing if I can find anything that I missed. Okay, so here's something worth an attempt, at least. According to my source of information... Wait, is that up or down? That might be down. I need it to come up. Apparently, each one of these elevator panels is considered a separate panel. So there's one here, there's one in the elevator, and then there's one down at the bottom. And apparently all of them count. And I don't know that I've ever done these before. I mean, I think I had, but I'm honestly not all that sure. I don't really know how this works. Oh, that... I guess as long as it's not... I guess so long as it's not actually black and white together, I guess you can have separate sets of black. Okay. Let's see if we can send this back up and get out of it really quick. Because then I'm going to use the ground floor one here to bring it back down. Which should be fairly simple. So, one would think. But, oh wait, I can just do it this way. Right? There we go. Okay, so with that in mind, let me check and see if that updated my puzzle count at all. Alrighty, so that did it. Now we are at 522 plus 135 plus 6, which, if any of you have actually put any research into the total number of puzzles, you know that the total puzzle count at 100% is 523 plus 135 plus 6, which means I'm left with this guy. The thorn in my side since the challenge was completed, or the gauntlet, or whatever. I just don't know. Like, I honestly just don't. There's a couple of different theories I've had on this that like the cooler colors are the blue and the warmer colors are the green, but that loses water when you get up to this area. Like, it's just weird. I don't know how you keep track of this. Yeah, I don't. I find it a little odd that there's these blank spots. It makes me think that you're supposed to use those to get around things and whatnot, but I don't know. Yeah, no, that didn't work. Actually, I wonder if you could do something like that. There's no blank spot for starting off. But you might be able to do... Wait, no, that's something... I don't quite understand this puzzle. Like, I'll be honest. It doesn't quite add up to me as to the logic and mechanics. So I don't really know what all I'm supposed to be doing, because it's almost like all of the colors are constantly changing throughout the whole map. Like, from here it's this way, but over here it might be a different combination, and you know, I don't understand the principle behind this one, so it makes it very difficult to try and solve. I went with kind of a cool and warm color means blue, and warm means yellow and stuff like that, and then cool and cool is yellow. Hey, maybe that's it. Maybe that's actually it. Cool, a cool color and a warm color. Or no, I guess green's still considered cool, isn't it? So a cool color and a cool color would be yellow, right? But see, then you get into this where it's like or cyan with red and it's still yellow. So I don't really understand. It's like cool and hot is yellow. But then how do you get this? This is, well, purple's still, yeah. So anyways, I've been stuck on this one for a while now. I've picked no bones about that. But we have solved everything except this puzzle, and the audio logs, and the last video, which I'll probably do another video episode next time, is what I'm thinking. And I'm going to pause and work on this for a minute and see what I can come up with, but we probably are going to wrap things up relatively soon on this point, and then go from there. Okay, so maybe I've been coming at this the wrong way. I'm not really sure, but one thing I thought about doing was trying to keep do a red versus blue kind of thing, of keeping the warmer colors and the cooler colors away from each other and seeing if that worked. No, it didn't. Did I do something different? I feel like I did it differently when I was planning it out, and then when I exited, it didn't work right. I do it like this. I know that still includes the yellows, though, which is kind of like, that's not really, well, it is more on the red spectrum, I guess. Let's try if we cut those out, maybe? I don't even know at this point. I really, really don't. Nope, that's, nope. That's not gonna work, because then I won't be able to come back up. So yeah, I don't know what to do with that puzzle. That has been a thorn in my side for a while. If you guys have any suggestions on the perspective that I should be going in to tackle it, I would really appreciate it, because that's basically the last one that I actually have to do to get the 100% mark. Nope, wrong way. So, yeah. I would appreciate it. Like I said, let's see, this is, I think, episode 58, so the next episode we'll probably spend, if I get good suggestions and stuff, and some ideas that I hadn't thought of to tackle the colored puzzle before, I'll try that again. If, oh, that's weird, it almost looks like it's, it looks like it's blacked out from here, but I'm guessing it's a level of distance thing, or level of detail, would be my guess. Yeah, there it goes. I was gonna say, I was like, hold on. I thought that was an audio log, just a rock. So, yeah, at this point, what I think we're gonna do is, in the next episode, if we can tackle that one, we will, based off of comments and things like that. If not, what I'll probably do is play the last video and then go around and try and collect some of the extra audio logs that I haven't been able to figure or find while also trying to figure out what to do with this one, and then hopefully we'll have everything wrapped up. And if we can have everything wrapped up, then I'd like to end the series on episode 60, where we get back in the elevator and end the game on the full ending and see if we get something different. If not, oh well. If so, then yay. That's kind of my theory. I hope it holds up. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.